Yeah, those ones are like I'm going out. You know what I mean? That's like driving at night with the top down. That's indoor freshness. That's how I would put it. That's how I would
Indoor
put it.
freshness.
Alright, man. Yo, I appreciate you, dude. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you, bro.
Alright, so we're just doing a bunch of different conversations with artists, and I had I guess this opportunity to be able to talk to people that I'm friends with, but also that I respect in the game of music and art and dance. And I wanted to talk to you because I have a whole bunch of questions. I was talking to a friend about this the other day about like when you started dancing, like where were you, like in your life? Like for example, I know for me, I was
in my house.
I was a nerd, bro. I was a nerd. I used to wear like silver dragon. I had a blonde tip on my hair. I had glasses and braces and stuff. But even in that, I was so antisocial, man. I was such a nerd, and like in a bad way, because nerds are good, cool people.
Yeah,
but like
bro.
I was nerd in a bad way, antisocial. So when I picked up dancing became like teaching me how to be normal in a lot of ways. Like
And building your confidence in yourself.
Right? Where were you like before dance, finding dance, and then what came out of it?
Before dance?
Yeah. And you can be as real, yeah.
No, I love this story. I mean, just the growth that I came from this was, I was a nerd too.
Right.
But the thing is at some point in high school, I had a dramatic change.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, my boy invited me to dance in a talent show at our high school.
Right.
I was in 9th grade at the time. He was in 10th.
Right.
And he was amped and wanted to do it. So, but I don't think we ever did it. He went to 11th grade the next year, and I went to 10th grade, and it came back around again. And this time we said we're gonna do it.
Right.
But the only way we were gonna do it is if we had Scream masks on.
Oh my
Because
god.
I do not want nobody seeing me up on that stage. Because when I tell you my school was notorious for tomato throws and boos, like it's not no joke. You gotta be snapping.
Yeah.
But me and him got the confidence because me and him we already started dancing a year, so we knew each other well.
Right.
And it was for Black History, and it was a dedication to Michael Jackson.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so all of us, it was me and like him and maybe like 5 other guys, but we all had like individual solos back to back, because that's all we knew about shows.
Yeah,
was just going back to back. We didn't have no choreography or nothing. It was just straight freestyle. But me and my boy, facts.
I know I'm laughing because it's such a, like for me as a b-boy, my wife, she's from choreography, so I would always tell her like, see, I was just a specialist. I'd just come in, do some cool moves, and get out.
Yeah.
And you guys would keep doing the choreo, but I would never have to stay in that space.
Yeah.
Right? So
I didn't even see that yet.
I know, but you do well though transitioning. I'm horrible on that. Like you like I could pick up an 8 count, and you can.
But guess where that comes from?
Yeah.
Self-taught, watching all of Michael Jackson videos.
Right, exactly.
Watching his videos, I was learning all the Thriller dance, Beat It dance, Remember the Time.
True.
Like, the way you make me feel. I was learning it, teaching myself. So I was starting to understand counts on my own before really understanding what it was.
That's so nuts.
But fast forward back when me and him went on that stage and we were dancing, the crowd went crazy. And I've never had that energy hit me from a stage before. It was like the first time you lose your like stage virginity. Right. It was like
and then
that energy is real.
Right. And when you've never had that type of presence in your life, because like from being antisocial, but like I don't know where you were at in your life to feel that for the first time, that changes you, man.
Yeah, bro, it did a lot because people didn't know who it was until we went to lunch.
Right.
And then I had my outfit still on because I had a white collar shirt and red pants.
Right.
Took the shirt off, but I still had the pants. But I didn't have the mask on, and somebody looked at my pants and they looked up at me and it was like, "That was you?" Because remember, everybody thinks I'm a nerd. They don't have no idea I know how to dance,
right,
or sing.
Damn, man.
So, but I loved it that way. So after that, people started talking to me different, treating me different. Girls started giving me different vibes. I was like, wait a minute.
Right.
Summertime came, lost weight, got my teeth straight, got contacts. Grew out my hair because I got that Jamaican coolie hair, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just came back looking like somebody straight out of Saint Lunatics, you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh my gosh, she's a Saint Lunatic.
Yo. Yo, I was that one with the wristbands.
Oh my gosh.
Trying to be like the big kids, you know?
Those were great years of music, though. My goodness.
Were they? Oh, man.
Would you say your style is more like homegrown in that like you just kind of figured it out on your own, or you had like teachers and mentors? And I think it's
all just different times.
Okay. Yeah.
Homegrown first, then self-teaching from videos of other influencers, then getting advice, then doing choreography classes, and then just kind of doing shows and battles and knowing the difference between the two, and performing on a big stage or on a church stage, and knowing how the crowds are.
What are any names or so that like you can say you can attach yourself as like someone that influenced or taught you, like, you know, directly, like this would be my OG or this is my teacher? Anyone specifically you can think of?
Besides Michael Jackson, I would say that for the most part I've kind of taught myself throughout my whole life, but the people that had a specific influence in everything I took to heart as like an important thing to hear from this person.
Yeah.
I would say it would start from Snake,
mm-hmm.
because Snake was the one that got me on stage in my high school.
Word.
He's the one that also made me go with him to other schools to go battle people.
Right.
So he helped me break out the shell to actually find myself into this new mold where I want to lose weight and grow my hair out and have braids and dance and look cool and be cool in high school. Then after high school, college, I met up with a guy named Tate Boogie. Tate Boogie is the one that actually gave me my name.
Word.
Jigsaw.
Nice.
So the reason why I got that name is because of my style. Everything was very isolated.
Right.
Hence the word cutting up.
Right.
You know, I brought cutting up, trying to help it merge with the popping world.
Right.
I wasn't by myself, but I was pretty much one of the main ones that most people remember. And then after Tate Boogie, I think it was a transition where I got into the crew of Hard Knocks.
Right.
So now it's not just one person, but it was a bunch of people in Hard Knocks I was taken from. And this is young Hard Knocks. This is like, you know, Iota, Kid, DK, J Skid, a few more people, man. It was just a bunch of us that we were all learning from each other.
Right.
But we were all kind of seasoned a little bit, but we're still, you know, added some new touch-ups, you know, because this is
I love it. I mean, so a lot of people have a perspective on like what is dance, what isn't dance, yada yada, whatever, right? I always found it fascinating moving down here because I'm being from in a place that is saturated with culture and tradition.
Mm-hmm.
When you travel somewhere and you're like, oh, this is different, it's just not what I'm around. A lot of people at first they're like, oh, that's not, because it's not what they learned. Yeah. But I'm always been the type of person, mainly because of my whole backstory, I'm just so intrigued by different. So when I experience different, I'm always like, oh, what is that? Where does they get that from, right? So I love the fact that you guys created your own, and it wasn't just like another New York, another LA, another West Coast book, another, you know what I mean? Like this was, you took a concept and you brought yourself into the art form and you made your own. And that's what I feel like self-expression should be. It should be expressing yourself, right? And
people to this day are still trying to fight that, but it seems like it got lost. Because even though people are still trying to express their own style and just be free, they're getting stuck in this trend that if this trend is going right now, let me take my free mind of this style and add it to the trend of this.
Right.
Maybe something will blow up out of it.
Yeah.
But it's like, at the end of the day, if you're taking your style and you're putting it in something generic and you're trying to fit in with the generic, that open style it's not going to stand out for you as much as you think, because you're hidden with all of these traditional people and things and aspects of ideas that is saying, hey, your specific style needs work.
Right.
Where if you stay out here, people are eventually going to see you over here.
Right.
And they're going to start coming over by you.
Yeah.
And then more is going to come. And then now you still have this whole culture, this whole fan base, this whole whatever you want to call it, paying attention to your specific style.
Right.
And now you just pretty much built your own lane.
Right.
So
I call it the silhouette effect.
Yeah.
Which is like if you were to watch somebody move and there's no lights on them, it's just a silhouette. and if you can figure out who it is, that person has their own individual style. But if you need to see, like, I don't know, I can't. Oh, that's that. Okay, I couldn't tell. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a signature approach to your movements. You know, and I think I think that concept is lost. Like, people wanting to have their own. I'm such an artist at heart. Like, I always want my own movements to be something that's coming from me, and you can say, oh, that's something that Shane would do, right?
Yeah.
So whenever I'm around people that have the same mentality, I love that. But I don't think that's a priority in today's culture. And I could be wrong, but any thoughts on that too?
It's funny too, because now that we got the internet,
right,
we see some of that here, and we see some of the good stuff over there. You know, it's like it's different from Europe to Korea. It's different from China to Japan. It's different from the UK to Amsterdam. It's different from Canada to the US. It's different from Mexico to South America.
Right.
Everybody's styles kind of based on the community where they're at, like you said earlier. And it's like, it really doesn't get glorified as much for people to want to stand out anymore.
Right.
Because they're focusing on standing out another type of way. Something that'll trigger social media.
It's also a focus on winnings in a lot of ways as far as competition is concerned, as well as numbers of being noticed.
Yeah, true.
Social media,
and some people don't even care to win. They just want to be able to have the best battle that night.
Right.
Do something outrageous.
Yeah.
That nobody could forget, you know? Because it's like, wait, wait a minute. You're not supposed to do that. Of course you're going to get kicked out. Oh, well, I'll get kicked out, but nobody else is going to do this here.
Yeah. No, I miss that. I mean, I used to love a time when dance in general, you go to a different place, they dance different. Mm-hmm. You can watch them. Oh, they're from West Coast. Oh, they're from South. Oh, they're from Texas. You could tell by how they move where they're from. I miss that. And now, and this is not a bad thing because it's just inevitable with the internet. It's so easy to watch other people, so you're not learning from your peers.
Yeah.
Like in your own city.
Yeah,
you're learning from the worldwide internet, which is everything. So people can progress faster, but not so much of the thought is coming from your circle. Right.
It's funny too because that's happening in music right now as well.
Word, yeah.
You know, people are starting to sound alike for years because it sounds like a trending sound that can get you either signed or get you attention from people because they say, "Oh, you sound like this person." So if you sound like this song, then that song must be radio ready too, or playlist ready too. And it's like, all right, but even if it is, and say it blew up, that other person is still gonna be attached to that.
Yeah,
you're pretty much making them more famous, and then you're just gonna blend back into the blue.
Yeah, you're just
because
another
you sound
something.
like that person.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I always wanted to know because so for me, I've gone through like not many, but I've gone through my own name changes and stuff. Can you talk a little bit about like your progression, your name from like Jigstyle to no, it was Jigsaw to Jigstyle to Michael Jig. Yeah. Do you mind talking about it?
Yeah, man. My name pretty much represented what I represented in the dance mindset that I was at that time in life.
Right.
So the first one was Mr. Mime.
Wow.
Yeah, Mr. Mime.
No idea.
Because obviously, you know, when I first started figuring out how to add miming into cutting up, before I even knew what popping was, that's when Snake gave me the idea to either go with Just Mike or Mr. Mime. I started off with Just Mike, but it was only for a few weeks and didn't last long.
Right.
Then we moved over to Mr. Mime. I was like that for like 3 years pretty much.
Wow.
Throughout the whole high school. But still, most people still know me as Mike because obviously I wasn't that popular yet until I got to my senior year.
Yeah.
But after that, that's when I linked up with Tate Boogie, and he was like, "Bro, you've been training with us for a couple months now. Your style is like this and like that, blah, blah, blah. You move your body like a puzzle. Everything, whether you wave, whether you isolate, it's crazy. Like, you're Dr. Jigsaw." And I was like, let me take the doctor off. I'll keep Jigsaw. And then one day later down the line, if I become an OG or when I become an OG, I'll add the doctor back on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Jigsaw stuck for a while. And then I realized, even though Jigsaw stuck for a while, it was a lot of tainted things on that name.
Okay.
Behind that character. And I was going through a lot of transitions in my life, trying to figure out, why do people hate me? Why do people want to see me fall? Why do people love me? Why do people adore what I do? Why do people not respect me? It's just always something where I'm trying to please somebody.
Right.
Where I wasn't like being myself yet.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because every time I tried to be myself, they would tell me, nah, you should do this.
Right.
Nah, you should do that. And granted, I grew up as an only child.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the closest relationship with my mom or dad.
Right.
So I was pretty much raising myself.
Okay.
Besides the fact that when my grandmother went back to Jamaica around the time I went to high school.
Interesting.
But so I was pretty much learning everything around that culture, around the streets. And then I said one day, it was like, all right, well, I got to do something. Something different is missing.
Yeah.
I got into an accident, car accident.
Keep talking again.
And when I got into that accident and I almost died.
Damn.
That was one incident. It started to make me reevaluate my life and where I wanted to go, because I didn't want to be a famous dancer, to be honest. You know, that was never my thing. I only kept dancing out of high school because people kept saying, no, you should keep going. Like, you're really good, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, well, it did change my life for the last 2 years, so might as well see where it can take me the next 10 years, you know? Right. It made me a lot stronger, but then I was like, I need to start over. Then I got sick. Then it was the second time I was in the hospital. It was just like maybe a few years separated apart from each other.
If you mind me asking, like sick-wise, like what happened?
Oh, I don't know what was going on, but my sugar started dropping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then that's when the whole diabetes hit me out of nowhere.
Wow.
And I was still young. Like I think I was like 20.
Yeah, that's scary too when you feel like you're at like a rise of a certain direction in your career.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden something hits you and pull you this way. Like, all right, now we're going down this route.
Preach.
What's over
I know
there?
That feeling. Yeah.
Let's what's over there?
Yeah.
Maybe this is the better part I'm supposed to go.
Right.
Because honestly, I've learned a lot since I became diabetic. Like I've been so much more conscious of how I eat, how I live, and partly the way I work out, and kind of just not try and let it like stress me out or put me through depression or anything like that. And I was like, yo, you know what? I need to start using my voice, because I've always sang and I've always wanted to do what Michael Jackson did.
Right.
But I took the voice away because something back in my past life put me through some type of trauma where I didn't want to sing no more. And for years I didn't really know what it was until I figured it out. But we'll get back to that.
Yeah, you good.
But then I was like, you know what? I need to start over. I need to have something different for myself. And that's when I was just like, all right, instead of Jigsaw, why don't I name myself Jigstyle? Jigstyle became that, and I added Michael on because I was like, I don't want to name myself Jigsaw and be an R&B singer named Jigsaw. Like, whoa. What does that mean?
Yeah.
He's an R&B singer named Jigsaw?
Yeah.
Like, is he gonna kill me after he takes me out on a date or something? Like, you know, people are gonna come up with something.
Yeah.
Jigstyle, I loved it because the jigs everybody knew me for already.
Right.
So it stayed connected with Jigsaw. But the style was the other half of my life, looking back, saying, yo, all of these years people tried to diminish my style and say I was a copycat or a biter or this and this and that and that. And I'm just like, wow, like I've developed my own style. Right. And I'm so confident that all that I do now is my style.
That's you, yeah.
Yeah, this is purely everything I do.
Yeah.
Everything I do.
Right.
And I put the style on jigs, and I was like, Jigstyle. Put the Michael in front of it, now I'm the R&B guy. Right. It makes you stronger. If you let it.
Yeah.
You know, because it can break you if you let it.
Right.
But because I didn't let it break me up, it was crazy how I just came to like be this new person and be content with myself, how I speak to people, and being respectful to everybody I can, but also being firm in my belief if I really believe something. Yeah. And not back down. And also knowing how to pick and choose my battles, let some things go. Yeah. Let some things not slide. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it just helped because it's part of growing, you know?